So welcome to Kevin Mack Sports and our video advance of PC basketball games. We have a very special guest today. We have Tim Welsh. Tim Welsh is on for many reasons. Number one, he knows more basketball than anyone in Rhode Island, certainly way more than Kevin McNamara, as he told me for many years while he was the coach at Providence College. But more importantly, he's just back from Fort Worth and saw the TCU Horned Frogs on the weekend. Tim, first of all, welcome.
Thank you. I might have told you that, Kevin, back in the day. I never told Billy Reynolds that, though, because Billy goes way back to the days of Cousy, Cousy and Heinsohn and in those days. So, but thanks for having us on.
And I have a lot of nicknames, but one isn't Shooter, so it's tough to correct a guy named Shooter. So
exactly, Shooter and Sonar.
Shooter and Sonar. That's right. But Tim, right off the top, you've been with ESPN now for a lot of years. Are we going on 10 years?
I think this is our 11th, believe it or not. Yeah, so we're hanging in there and having a lot of fun with it. And the great part about it is obviously you're still connected to the game, and we've been fortunate enough to have great conferences to work with over the years, and most recently the Big 12 and the American, and able to still stay in our great state here of Rhode Island and not have to move, and that's been wonderful.
That begs the question, how did you land on the Big 12? Flip a coin. Obviously, the American makes a lot of sense, and they have to spread you around a little bit, but I'm not surprised that once you went somewhere they didn't want to lose you, but it's been Big 12 for many years in a row now.
Yes, and it's kind of strange that you don't know why you land in a league. It's obviously not geographical, or we didn't coach in the conference, but I do have a good relationship with a lot of coaches, and obviously there's turnover over the years, and we miss our old friend Rick Barnes, but of course we love Shaka now at Texas, and it's really a great coaches league, and I think the connection with the coaches has helped because they want somebody in there and as an analyst that they can relate to as well. I mean, the players are great, but I think the coaches always appreciate a coach here and there on their broadcasts, and it's worked out well. And the relationship with the office, Big 12 office, has been tremendous. Bob Bowlesby, Jeff Jackson, the associate commissioner, just tremendous people. And this league this year, the Big 12, is as good as it's been in a long time, and it's been really good over the years. But now with Baylor, really special, and West Virginia, really good again, and then Texas Tech, and you go right down the line. Great coaches, great teams, great programs.
Now, we've talked about it, you and I, since the Big East went to 10, now 11 this year with UConn. 10 is the best number for a basketball league. And the Big East fans have gotten excited about that in the last 8 years, but the Big 12 has done this for a long time, and they're always at the top of the RPI or the net, whatever it is now. And boy, they get 6, 7, even 8 teams in the tournament on a regular basis.
The commitment is there, and obviously football's been good in that league too, with Oklahoma and Texas going back a ways. But when Chris Beard came to Texas Tech, Tubby Smith kind of started it, and then he took the next step and obviously lost in the national championship. But you go right down the line, Kevin. People forget. I mean, the number of coaches. Bill Self, national championship. Shaka Smart at Final Four at VCU. And I know I'm going to forget somebody. I mean, Scott Drew, what he's done at Baylor. He's been in numerous Sweet 16s, Final Eights, and now has it again in the top 5 in the country. Huggy at West Virginia has been to a couple Final Fours. People forget Bruce Weber was in the national championship game in Illinois. He's at Kansas State. Lon Kruger, maybe the most underrated coach I've ever been around. I mean, went to the Final Four at Florida, then went to the Final Four at Oklahoma, coached in the NBA. So right down the line. And then, of course, another guy that's really probably forgotten about what a great coach he is Jamie Dixon, who the Friars will see on Wednesday. So, and I'm missing people, I know. We go right down the line, 1 through 10, terrific coaches, great programs, and really exciting places to go and do games, because every arena, and most years, as you know, is filled every night.
Sure. So tell us about TCU. It's a place you've been to many times, and in all my travels, I've never been to TCU. John Rook is a TCU grad. He's always kidded me, boy, the Friars have got to play TCU, got to play TCU. Well, Kevin Mack and John Rook will not be in the house when the Friars are there on Wednesday because of the virus and travel restrictions. But tell us about your experience on Sunday. They happened to play their Big 12 opener against Oklahoma, and they even had fans.
They did. And, I actually was there in the last game of the regular season, the last game I did last year, and then everything shut down, was at TCU. It was Oklahoma was there as well. It was a game right to the wire. And Jamie's done a really good job with the program. And it's a hard job because it's not It's not known as a basketball school. It doesn't have that basketball tradition, but they've redone their arena. Their arena is beautiful. They have a brand new practice facility. Everything's attached to the really special football stadium next door. And actually, they had a football game the day before. I didn't go to it, but they had some fans there that day. I'm not sure, 10, 15,000 for when they beat Oklahoma State. So it's a really nice school. It's a great program. Jamie's done good things there. He really has, and he's going to continue to build it. They're not going to get the high school All-Americans there. They're just not, but they're going to find those diamonds in the rough, those kids like they have now, the kid Miles at the point guard spot, and just develop those. And he's going to take transfers and he's going to coach them up. And they've got a good team. I thought they played very well on Sunday. They just didn't. They couldn't stop Austin Reeves, the point guard from Oklahoma. He got to the free throw line, I believe, 18 times in the game. So that was a little over the top, in my opinion. I didn't think that they fouled him that much, but I think Jamie's got a better team than he had a year ago. They were 500 a year ago. They had a special player, Desmond Bain, who was a first-round draft pick, but they had to lean on him every night. He had to go get 20, 25 points for them to win. Now, I think he likes this team a little better because the younger guys have grown up. He's got more balance, and he doesn't have to rely on one guy to win every night. And they've got a good big guy in the middle, and Kevin Samuel, which I'm interested to see that matchup with Nate Watson. That should be a good one. Samuel's game, I think, has been up and down so far this year. I think he was maybe a little bit better and a little more aggressive a year ago. They seem to not be looking for him as much, and maybe he's not working as hard as he needs to get open. But he's a force down there, and he's a guy that it'll be a good old school big man matchup because he's certainly just a low block player, kind of like Watson.
Saw him 6'10", 260. I watched your game. I taped the game and watched it on Monday. I want to start in the backcourt, however, where R.J. Nembhard seems to be a really important player. Overall, we remember Jamie Dixon as Pitt Jamie Dixon, one big football, inside tough guy after the next, and even really physical guards, the Carl Krausers of the world. Are they physical like that, or just it's a different ingredient?
He's had to take a step back with the change in the rules 3, 4, 5 years ago, where the freedom of movement. I used to say we used to go to Pittsburgh. We have to bring our football helmet and our shoulder pads because we're going to get knocked around because that's the way they played. You come off a ball screen and they hedge and they pop the dribbler. They're driving the screener off his spot, and you just can't do that anymore. The officials won't let you do that. So Jamie has adjusted well, and really a couple years ago they were averaging the 80 points a game. They were trying to play fast, and he's still trying to play fast. He's going with 3 guards now, and Nembhard is a good fast player. He's kind of in the David Duke type style. I don't think he's as skilled as David Duke, but he's a big guard who can go to the basket, and he's an inconsistent shooter, but when he gets going, he can really be dangerous out there. So he's a guy definitely you got to pay attention to, especially in the open court. But they're not going to run a lot of half-court stuff and slow down the game. And probably that's why Samuel hasn't got as many touches as he's had in the past, because last year they ran a lot of stuff for Bain, and they were a half-court team. This year they're trying to play a little bit faster. In the past, they pressured more, and they didn't play that roughhouse defense, but they got in passing lanes. This year, I think they're still trying to find their identity on defense because there's so many new players, so many younger players. But I like their team. I mean, I was impressed what they did in Kansas City. They beat a good Tulsa team, and they beat a pretty good Liberty team in back-to-back games. So I think Jamie likes this team, and he probably felt they played good enough to win on Sunday, but just didn't get enough whistles down the stretch, and they couldn't stop Reeves.
And then the big guy, Samuel, does he step out at all? A truly low post, a guy who Providence would look to double, that type of thing, or can he put the ball on the floor a little bit?
No, he's mostly down low. And I noticed this on Sunday that he just was kind of playing a little straight up. Now, when he gets big, they'll throw it to him. But I think he may have been a little frustrated with all the threes they were taking the other day, and they made a lot of them in the first half. But he will occasionally step out to the foul line, but he's not going to shoot it from there. I mean, he was a dreadful free throw shooter before this season. I believe his career was in the low 40s.
Wow.
But this year, I think he's 10 for 15, and he looks like he's got a better free throw shot. But he's not going to shoot from out there at all. He's going to be a guy down low that you can double. There's no doubt about it, because I don't think he's a very good passer. And, looks like he's a little more nimble this year, like he's in better shape too, so he can play longer. In the past, he's had issues with fouls, but I think he's probably a little bit better defender than he has been in the past because he's in better condition and he's more experienced.
And how about defensively? Now, don't tell me Jamie Dixon's playing a little zone. That would be shocking to me.
Well, I haven't seen it yet. They will popping in here and there when they're not unable to stop people. So he does have it in his arsenal. There's no doubt about it. He's gone to that in the past few years. He doesn't like to do it at all, and you can tell when they do go with it, they're not great in it in the past because he doesn't want to do it. When a coach doesn't like to play zone and then they play zone, you can usually see it because they're not adept at it. They're not really ready to play it for long periods of time, but he will play it on occasion just to change the pace of the game, which sometimes helps them. And again, he's really, I think, trying to find what lineup he wants this year. The kid Miles, I think, is special. He's a Mike Miles. He comes in, he's not starting, but I would imagine he's ready to start. Usually you wait, things are going well, bring a guy in off the bench, you win your first 4 games, you stay with what you're doing. But as soon as you lose a game, then you say, wait a minute, this guy might be one of our best players. We're going to start him at the beginning of the game. So neither here or there, he's going to play starter minutes, and he's pretty good. He's in that Carl Krauser type. He's a big, strong guard. Mm-hmm. He plays above his years. I mean, he's a true freshman, but he plays very confidently, and he'll take big shots for him.
Is he a blazer? Obviously, he was very confident shooting the 3 the other day, but fast? Is he a fast kid?
He's not jet fast. He's a big, strong. He weighs almost 200 pounds, I think, and he's really strong. He looks like he's 23, 24 years old. He looks like a veteran guard out there on the floor. He's got good moves with the ball. He's got a tight handle, though. He's quick. I wouldn't say he's fast, but he's quick, and he uses his quickness combined with his power to get into the lane and to get all the way to the rim. He's fearless. He's very good. I'm very impressed with him.
Mm-hmm. And then finally, I'm curious, how was it to be in Fort Worth, where I know that people are out and about? I think you said that, your hotel was busy a little bit, and there were fans there. Did they put the fans obviously across from the benches? How was it laid out?
Well, first of all, the rodeo was going on in Fort Worth, and I can't really speak to that, but I walked into my...
Is there a rodeo every weekend in Fort Worth?
I think so, but about 90% of the people in my hotel had cowboy hats on, and I was just making sure they all had masks on. And, traveling now obviously is weird, and it's different, and taking trips the last 2 weeks. I think everyone's doing a good job in the airports. The airlines are doing a really special job, I think, and everyone understands what this is, but still, when you have to travel, you have to travel. So you got to figure it out. And, you and I on the road, we wouldn't be able to go sit in the Capitol Grill and watch a ball game and have a big steak, but you get takeout and you bring it back to your room. So you adjust to things on the road. But the game, I thought, I felt fine at the game. They had all the seats spread out. They had to kind of sheets on seats where you couldn't sit. So they kind of socially distance people. They said, you can sit with your families. When you walked in, everyone had to wear a mask. Actually, we wore masks doing the broadcast, and
really?
Which I didn't realize that was happening. Last week at Kansas State, we did not, but we were so far up and so far away from everybody. But we were kind of near all the radio people that were spaced out, and people were all around the building. The cheerleaders were there, the band was there, so it felt kind of normal in there, except for the fact that instead of 8,000 people, there was only like 1,700.
So I ran across, well, obviously I was in Asheville last week, and the TV talent was not on site. So ESPN does have, they call them remote broadcasts. Some conferences are going that way, some are not. I know you prefer to be at the games and be on the court, and we'll see how that unfolds the rest of the season. But is there a good way? I mean, at TCU, did that work to your satisfaction?
I was fine with it. We sat up kind of in the corner, but we weren't all the way at the top of the buildings. We had a nice vantage point. It's the football guys watch games from way up high, so it's an adjustment. But I felt fine doing the game there. They spread us out up there. They were very aware of what we had to do. I mean, I did not sit close to the play-by-play guy. We were spaced out. So I felt good about it. And the radio guys, I look back, they were spaced out in everybody had their own row. So obviously being at the game is better. But the home kits, from what I've seen, the broadcasts have been good. And I know the setup, talking to the football guys, they're fine with it. And some of the basketball games have already been done from home kits or remotely, which we've done in the past from Bristol or Charlotte. I don't know. I just got a notice that we'll be at the Ryan Center next week, which is great, for the Davidson game a week from Friday. Great. Yeah, great. So we'll be on site for that, which will be great on a Friday night on ESPNU.
Perfect. Well, Tim, you do a great job, and I will be back sometime this year, maybe multiple times, for these Kevin Mack Sports video advances. As I said, sometimes I write things and you're not quite sure if people are clicking. People like these video advances. So
don't just click out there. Click and purchase, because
yes.
This is a great website. It really is. I'm happy, so happy you're back doing it. And, you'll be missed by the paper, but this is great stuff for everybody around the country to be able to read you on a daily basis. Not just the Big East fans, but everybody in college basketball. I know a lot of other coaches feel that way, and I know a lot of other broadcasters and sports writers as well.
Great. Appreciate that, Tim. See you soon.
All right, Kevin. Thank you.
You're welcome.